government contracting during the Trump era. There are these myths going on right now. President Trump wants to get rid of everything. He and Elon Musk. Elon Musk wants to steal your money and take away contracts. These are the things I read. These are things I come across. Let me share with you some things based on my experience. I have been a government contractor since the Bush administration. Bush number 2, the son of the President Bush, right? Which means I was a federal government contractor with live contracts during Trump era 1. So let's talk about it, and I want to share some things with you. First thought, under President Trump during the first term, he made diversity and inclusion training services illegal. He also made this push to use contract vehicles. He was all about contract vehicles, right? This was really big. However, during that time, we had our 8A. We still won work, but we made a pivot and started to bid on any and all contract vehicles. STARS 3, Oasis Plus Small Business Pool, Oasis Plus Woman-Owned Small Business Pool. We bid on PAX 3. Not sure if they're going to award that or not. So I knew if Trump was to ever become president, the same would happen and more. So what does this mean for you, especially for those of you where you may say, I don't even know what any of this means. I'm just trying to win a contract. What it means is you're in the middle of trying to get registered. You just want a cage code. You just want to be able to do business with the federal government. You need a physical address. I understand that right now it's really popular. Registered agent, use their address to use the different addresses out there. It's not going to work in federal government, okay? So for those of you who are kind of at the start to get you moving, you want a physical address, a legal business structure, and to register in Sam.Gov, first and foremost. Next, when it comes to what you're going to bid on, you want to really think about what are you comfortable bidding on and what are your goals? What are your goals? Why are you doing this? Type some of your goals. Why are you in this space? I'll tell you why I am as you guys type. I was a graduate research fellow at Patrick Air Force Base at the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute. And toward the tail end, right before I became Dr. Parks and I was Ms. Kizzy Parks, the director of research pulled me aside and said, hey, I heard you're graduating soon. We would like to keep you on. I was like, okay, this is perfect. Because I've been applying for jobs, praying not to get the jobs. I was like, this is my answer. I'll be an entrepreneur. I don't know what that means, but I've always wanted to be one. Why not? That's how I got started. December of 2007, kicked off that January of 2008. I incorporated KPC in May of 2008. And then as I did more and more in the space, I was like, oh, this is really cool. There's so many things that they buy. I really enjoy this. It made me closer to like my dad, different family members who served in the military. Early retirement, looking to be your own boss, more control over financial future, stability, peace of mind. Who doesn't want these things in life? So to get these things, you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? And are you willing to stomach the political environment? That's why I put Trump in the name. Are you willing to stomach the political environment? Because we're talking business. That's what we're talking about at the end of the day. So in this space, the elected officials dictate where things go. So right now, what is President Trump about? Getting rid of agencies. So we know where not to put our focus, Department of Ed, USAID. Okay, he's about border protection. So where is there going to be money around the border? They're not going to be fond of you actively saying, yeah, I'm subbing out to somebody in Bangalore. No, USA, USA, USA. Many people are going to be scared. Many of them are hesitant. Many people are just looking for more excuses. Oh, I can't do this. Look at the president. Is this the right time to do this? Does it make sense to do this? Should I be doing this? Of course you should. Why shouldn't you? Because too many people are going to use this as an excuse not to do anything. If you go to Sam.Gov, small business set aside, advanced search, there's over 1,000. All you need to do is win one. You're telling me you can't win one? Come on, you can. At the end of the day, you have a physical business address, a legal business. You get a cage code. Then you can bid. We've already come across people getting paid $1,400 per plant. I was like, where were these contracts? All this money for surveys. I mean, my goodness. It's about learning, applying, and adjusting. When I got in this space over 10 years ago, I got help. I got help through formal mentors, informal mentors, paid, unpaid. We have active contracts. My team works with the Doge group. Every federal agency has this Doge group. So the things that I'm talking about are not like, oh, I just read some articles or I went to ChatGPT and I'm jumping on the bandwagon to get views. Like, these are things that we deal with. So I'm just letting y'all know that. Once you win, you have to show value, exceed value, because if not, then you're replaceable. So at the end of the day, it's about what do you bring as an entrepreneur through your business to help execute, meet the requirements for what you're bidding on. If they want coffee mugs, get them the coffee mugs they want. If the Bureau of Prisons, they want rice, get them the rice that they want. If you want a contract for dog food in Guatemala, Department of State wanted that not too long ago, give them the dog food that they want. That's what it's about. That's what I like to bring to this space, is the reality that all of these contracts are going toward a mission. This is more than just supply and demand. It's more than just, hey, there's an opportunity, you bid on it, I want it, I'm entitled to make all this money and brag on TikTok. You are providing a product or service. That's what's important. Whatever it is you do, whether you niche and you provide housing, whether you niche and you provide staffing, whether you do a little bit of everything, at the end of the day, you are providing a product or service. So I was asked, I'm doing federal jobs now, I would love to be an 8A. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put yourself in front of the buyer? The vast majority of 8A work is sole sourced. Now, I don't really know how often the federal government is going to want to sole source 8A work in this Trump administration. I don't know, because they may consider that diversity and inclusion. This is one set aside where you may not want to rush to get it just yet. I'm not saying that you can't win work. It's just a lot of the 8A work, from my experience, we got our 8A in 2011, September. A lot of what we won was due to dialing for dollars, was due to meetings, due to partnerships. It was due to a lot of that. Now, for the other set aside, some of these kind of thoughts still apply because agencies aren't under that same pressure. I believe the goal is now only 5%. 5% of government business to go to disadvantaged businesses. 5% of government contracts. So as long as you're patient, because you have 9 years, so long as you're patient, why not? So what you have to ask yourself is, if you're hanging your hat on a set aside, this is not that time. This is not it. During the Biden administration, they went so far to release a statement. I remember seeing this statement and I was like, this is weird. And it was like, we encourage agencies to do work with first-time contractors and woman-owned. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So I see and know the change because I've been in this space since Bush 2. I don't share this to be controversial. I just share this on my thoughts. So here's the bomb I'm gonna drop. You can suspend your 8A. Typically, it's due to like a state or federal level state of emergency. So back during COVID, I reached out to the SBA and the 8A office and said, hey, due to this, I want to suspend my 8A, meaning we couldn't bid on 8A work. We couldn't be awarded any more 8A work. State of emergency, because the nation was in a state of emergency, the national emergency, state level emergency. So whenever that happens, you can suspend your 8A. Well, one thing about the great state of Florida, due to hurricanes, there are a lot of states of emergency. Just putting it out there. Really, nobody talks about it. So there are ways for you to suspend your 8A, and that means you keep the time. You don't need to be 8A certified. You don't need to be any of these things. Especially during this Trump administration, the emphasis is on saving money, government contract vehicles. Also, the emphasis of this SBA, the Small Business Administration, is evolving. What I've already noticed is as follows. A lot of the SBA events are events that are affiliated with a contract within that state or the region. The events that I'm seeing, I get emails all the time, are like how to leverage YouTube, how to leverage marketing, how to set up QuickBooks, how to start a business, how to do business with the government. They also have free training. I've gone through the free training. It's very interesting. So again, to the earlier comments, thinking, oh, I'm just going to get a set aside. That is not the focus. It's like trying to sell all-inclusive ski pass in July. Now, if you're trying to earn some money in July and you want to sell the tickets for anticipation of December, but people are trying to buy the tickets during the season. So be prepared for that. At the end of the day, government contracting is definitely a way for you to achieve all of your goals that y'all talked about in the very beginning, as far as why you're here, why you want to do this. Regardless of who's president, there's always going to be opportunities to bid on. What's important is being aware of the cross-section between politics and the buying. State, local, federal. That's all it is. What's really great about where we are and about the current state of politics is we still have control, and as long as you have faith, you're gonna be all right. Any advice for getting into GovCon for deep tech? There's a couple routes. Probably the fastest route is working for a government contractor so you can learn the ins and outs. You could also potentially, you would work as a full-time equivalent. You could also work as a full-time equivalent for a government contracting company. Or if you're like, I just want to do my own thing, go out on your own. Start a business, get a cage code, and start bidding on things. Here's the other and. Figure out with your degree, what problem can you solve that people with money would pay for in the government contracting space. Make sure, regardless of what's going on with the presidency, you're focused on winning. The thing about this time in the world is the sky is the limit. You have people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars from freelancer. You know, I interviewed an amazing woman who made $20,000 in 3 months from grant writing off of Upwork. So just go on my channel. I have 800 videos. Type Kizzy Parks, how to get a cage code, how to write a proposal, how to find opportunities. It's for free. No more than 10% should be sources sought. So let me break down sources sought, because there are people out there who are like, so the government will release a sources sought, and then they will review the sources sought. And then from there, the government will release a solicitation. And then the government will put the solicitation on Sam.Gov. And then you will bid on the solicitation. Let me tell you how this stuff really works. A sources sought, one, they don't really know. We just know we need something or somebody to do this thing. We don't really know. And then you got a contracting officer. They may have questions that they want you to answer. So they're trying to figure out. Sometimes they'll say, hey, here's the statement of work. What are your thoughts? Again, trying to figure it out. Maybe you're like, man, I need to get a new refrigerator. I've never bought a new refrigerator in my life. Sometimes that's what sources soughts are like. Like they're just like, we're just trying to figure out. Sometimes, I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes y'all put these sources sought out to justify who you have. How do I know this? Because I've been on the receiving end. Next, you'll see a sources sought and your response may stand out and they may decide to sole source you. That's happened to us. Or they'll say, hey, we just want to let you know that we received your sources sought and the solicitation is on Sam.Gov. So sometimes they really like that. And so it's like a way of them encouraging you to bid. Sometimes they put it out because they basically want to encourage more small businesses to respond. So they put the sources sought out. The reason I say it should only be 10% is because it's not a buying. It's like going to a showroom and you're like, wow, look at this new refrigerator. You can touch this and do that. And then you're like, $6,000. I have no idea what the refrigerator is. I'm just throwing out dollars. I'm just looking. The government's the same way. It might not be funded, maybe due to politics. There's a decision that they no longer need it. Maybe just due to GSA schedule, they made a decision, hey, it's going to be cost effective if we buy XYZ on a GSA schedule instead of using SAM. You see what I mean? When you're responding to a sources sought, you're putting yourself out there and you want to present as if it is a solicitation, but just keep in mind, it may not turn into anything, okay? Here's a couple quick suggestions for that. You want to make sure you follow up with them and ask for a capability brief. How do I know this? Based on my experience and based on contracting officers I've talked to. Some people don't use them to determine acquisition strategy. A lot of people use them to justify working with the company that they're working with. And sometimes they don't care if 10 small businesses respond because they already know who they want. There are so many agencies in the federal government, and who works in the federal government? Human beings. We're not predictable. Not 100%. So I say focus on solicitations. BPAs are another good way to get into government contracting, blanket purchase agreements. The dollar values may be low, but the purchases tend to be repetitive over time. That's very true. That's how people have gotten in with housing, lodging, short-term housing, long-term housing, uniforms. We had a BPA for training. When we have a door close, we mourn, and it's okay to mourn. So then you have to ask yourself, what do you really want to do? And what do you want to do so you don't have to go through that mourning again? My motivation, first and foremost, to be the greatest I can ever be, because I know what it's like to not be great, and to be scared to not be great, and to suffer, and to watch people suffer, and to wonder, why do I have to suffer? That's one. Another one, I have gifts from God. I have a mission from God. It's to teach. It's to help. It's to elevate. It's to share my gifts. I'm your government psychic friend, whether you like it or not. It's to do all of that. Another number one, I think about growing up when my dad, Arthur Parks, would say, baby girl, you can do and be anything you want. And I think about the things he wanted to do that he didn't. I think about the things I saw and I was like, wow, like in college, I had friends who had multiple homes. I was like, oh, wow, people do that? I met people who had traveled to many countries by the time they were 18. I didn't know people were like that. I grew up middle class in the Midwest. So I was like, well, why can't I create the life that I want? Why can't I design the life that I want? Another number one, I'm motivated because I'm here to help. A byproduct of the teaching and educating. It's to help and lift up others. I'm motivated by, hey, Kizzy, I read your book and won a contract. Hey, Kizzy, I made $20,000 from Upwork and we can remodel our kitchen. I love that. It motivates me that I'm able to help people in ways that I still can't comprehend, because so many people did that for me, especially as somebody who was adopted. So I'm motivated because this is bigger than me. This isn't about, oh, let me get up and make sure we have payroll, make sure my main KPC is good, make sure GCW is good, make sure my man is good, my family, my health, my this, my that. It's bigger than that. So for me, there is no other option. For me, all of the boats have been burned. For me, there is no failure. Every single thing is a learning, period. There's always something's going to happen. And yeah, it sucks. And yeah, you mourn. And it's like, man, then you brush yourself off and remind yourself how amazing you are, because you are. So when I say everything is possible, it's not some BS. It's for real. winnerswaybook.com, Amazon, or thank you all. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And as always, everything is truly, truly possible. Until next time, take care, y'all.